bright out there. Anyway, it's the first nice day I got the shop all opened up. It's fucking great. It's like 70 degrees out, but it is pretty windy, so if you hear stuff blowing around, yeah, that's why. Anywho, hello viewers, welcome back to another episode. Today we're getting back to our regularly scheduled programming, and that is working on race cars. So over there's the Radical. Yeah, I've got some goodies for it. Pretty excited. First one is these Penske. So in stark contrast to last week's video, these Penskes are amazing product with awesome customer and technical support. I can't say enough nice things about the fine folks over there at Penske Racing Shocks. I am very excited to run these. Wow, they even incredibly well. Jesus. Getting into the product is even amazing. That is incredibly well packaged. All right, so as I was saying before, I couldn't get into this box. So as I was saying, the fine folks over at Penske Racing Shocks are amazing. Not only did they give me a lot of advice about setup for the car, they also, of course, everything comes with the dyno graph for the shocks. And these are their 8750s, freshly rebuilt, ready to go back into the car. Very excited by this. So first things first, you got to put the springs back on it, then we can whack them in the car, and then we can move on to the next exciting bit, which I have the headers back from the coater. Now I got those ceramic coated, so hopefully keeps the heat down in the engine bay. So those will be next to go on. Things are coming together. The wiring harness is installed, and we'll probably just give you guys a little overview of that. I did a wiring video on a previous build video for the Datsun, so if you're really interested in knowing how to do it, go check that video out. If you really want to take a deep dive, check out HP Academy's course on how to wire your car. It is invaluable, and at somewhere under $200, it is well worth every penny. So not sponsored, just a big fan. But let's go ahead and get these put back together and get them put on the car. Now, one thing I am leaving alone with this build from when I picked it up is the actual spring rates themselves. I want to drive the car, kind of see where it is. I have a feeling for autocross and hill climb, I'm probably going to want maybe a little softer spring rate than what these are, but I don't know that for certain. So I'm just going to give it a shot with what it came with, and we can always dial that in at a later date. So there's one. Love these Penskes, by the way. These are just such a well-built product. Not only are they well-built and well-supported, they're just really good. So very excited to start racing on these. I will probably even investigate how to upgrade the Datsun to these at a later date. They just seem to be completely worth it. These are their triple adjustables, which means there are a lot of knobs and screws for me to turn. Definitely a place you can get yourself into trouble with, but for now, just going to use their basic settings, give it a shot, and we'll tweak from there. The next exciting thing that I have to share with you is that the headers are back from coating. I decided to get them ceramic coated, and I think it's going to keep underhood temperatures down quite a bit. They needed blasted and cleaned up anyway, so this also took care of that part of the process, and they turned out just amazing. You do have to be a little bit careful with this Cerakote because it is fairly fragile. It can scratch easily, even though it can withstand a lot of heat. So, oh, that's great. He even sprayed quite a bit down each side of the pipe. The idea here is to prevent the pipe itself from getting heat soaked, get the heat out the back so that these just don't sit there and create an oven in the engine compartment. I think this is going to be great. Obviously, the headers are going to come back to this point, and then there's going to be a muffler section. That I didn't coat. It's toward the back of the engine bay. Coating a muffler is kind of a pain in the butt anyway. It will be hot, but there is some ventilation back there, so I think that part will be just fine. The headers are the really, really hot bit. So let's get these unpackaged and installed on the car. This is not one of my favorite jobs to do on a Radical. It is a very tight place to be working in, and with the firewall off, it is possible. I don't know if you could pull the headers with the firewall connected, or in place, I guess. I kind of doubt it. These were obviously used from the car when I acquired it in boxes. These did come with it. I believe they are the original Radical units. Had to make just a few small repairs, but now we're good to go. We can get them installed on the car and knock out that part of the build. So we're getting really close to being able to start it and verify that everything works, which will be great. Dampers installed, headers installed. Everything turned out really nice. I really like the black headers. I think it looks really good. Cleans up that whole engine compartment, and it's going to be especially useful with the heat. So the last thing to do now that the headers are on is to go ahead and mount the last section of firewall. So if you are a Radical die-hard person, or you own one of these, you will recognize that this is not OEM, and that is correct. When I got the car, somebody had butchered the ever-living crap out of the firewall section. The fuel tank had been removed, kind of some spiraling issues. However, I have most of the rest of that sorted, but I chose to make the firewall in 2 separate pieces just for ease of use later if I need to get in there. I also set it up to be screwed on and riv nutted everything. Yeah, it's a little bit more weight, but a couple of ounces versus a lot of convenience I think was worth it. So I designed this in CAD, had it laser cut out of aluminum. I've painted the cabin side. Now on the engine bay side, the last step before we put this stuff on is to add this gold foil, or at least I hope it's gold foil. I ordered it on the internet and I haven't opened the box yet, so see if I got what I paid for. And yep, it looks like I did. So this is just that reflective foil that you're gonna see used quite a bit. Got quite a lot of it. So I'm just gonna place this across pretty much the whole back side of this panel, and that'll help radiate some of that heat away from the driver compartment, and namely my back, so I don't get cooked. So get this stuck on there and get that put in the car, and we're gonna call it a day. All right, guys, that is the firewall installed. So we're about wrapped up on most of the car here, but I feel like I'm about 80% done with about 100% of the car. So I think the rest of today, and I'm gonna wrap this video up because it's gonna be a little bit boring. I think the rest of the day is just gonna be devoted to really getting things in place for their final time, getting the wiring harness tucked away where it should be, getting the fuel lines put back in. They're already made, just get everything kind of put back together. And then the last steps on this project, and probably the final video before we go drive it, is going to be just getting the brakes bled, getting the alignment set up, and corner weighting the car. So getting it on the scale, seeing what it actually weighs, seeing how close to our min weight for class we can get in autocross, and then also having an idea of what the weight will be for classing for hill climbs. So can't wait to see this thing out on track very shortly. So if you like what you saw, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. This is pretty much what my channel is. I know I've got some new viewers maybe this video, but this is the channel. This is, we're building race cars here. We're going out and using them. That's kind of the whole point of what we're doing. So yeah, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.